What if I told you that every year after 70, your heart is fighting a silent battle and no one has truly told you how to win? Most seniors are handed a prescription, a polite smile, and a vague explanation. It's just your age. But you deserve better. You deserve answers. I've seen it too often. Patients like Mr. Allen, 74, coming in every month. More pills, more dizziness, more fear. Yet their blood pressure refuses to budge. Why? Because the root of the problem was never addressed. High blood pressure after 70 is not just a number on a screen, it's a warning sign. And if you don't understand the hidden causes, stiffened arteries, chronic inflammation, nutrient imbalances, you're left playing a dangerous guessing game with your health. In today's video, I'll walk you through what most doctors won't tell you. Simple science-backed strategies to protect your heart, your brain, and your independence without overmedication. If you value real health, hit the like button, subscribe to Doctor for Seniors, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your health is your greatest wealth. Part 1. The real cause, it's not just age. High blood pressure after 70 is often brushed off with a single word: age. It sounds simple, almost harmless. But that explanation hides a much deeper truth. Your body doesn't wake up one day and decide to betray you just because you had another birthday. The real culprits are far more complex and far more dangerous if ignored. As we grow older, the blood vessels that once flexed with every heartbeat begin to stiffen. It's a slow, silent process called arterial stiffness. Imagine a rubber band left out in the sun. Over time, it loses its stretch, becomes brittle, and cracks. That's what's happening inside your arteries. They become less elastic, forcing your heart to work harder to pump blood through narrowed pathways. This isn't just about numbers on a blood pressure cuff. It's about the constant strain wearing down your heart day after day. But stiff arteries are only part of the story. There's another enemy working quietly in the background: chronic low-grade inflammation. Unlike a swollen joint, you can see and feel this inflammation simmers beneath the surface. It damages the lining of your blood vessels, disrupts how they expand and contract, and leaves behind microscopic scars. Over time, these tiny injuries build up, raising your blood pressure bit by bit, year after year. And yet most doctors only glance at the final result, the systolic and diastolic numbers, without asking the most important question: why? For seniors, this oversight can be devastating, because blood pressure in your 70s and beyond is rarely a simple equation. It's an intricate web of stress, poor sleep, and subtle imbalances inside your body that no one sees. Let's talk about stress. Not the kind that comes from big life events, but the relentless everyday stress of living with an aging body. Joint pain medications, worries about health and finances, they all keep your body on edge. This triggers a constant release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which tighten your blood vessels and push your blood pressure higher. Then there's sleep. After 70, sleep often becomes shallow and fragmented. What many don't realize is that poor sleep isn't just exhausting, it disrupts your body's natural blood pressure rhythms. Normally, your blood pressure dips at night, giving your heart a chance to rest. But when sleep is broken, that restorative dip doesn't happen. Your heart keeps working overtime even when you're lying in bed. Finally, there's the issue of electrolyte imbalance. As we age, the kidneys, your body's natural filtration system, become less efficient. They struggle to maintain the right balance of sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Too much sodium retains water and increases blood volume, raising pressure. Too little potassium or magnesium weakens the vessel's ability to relax. It's like trying to control water pressure in a rusty old pipe system, ineffective and risky. These are not abstract theories. They are very real, very human problems. Let me share the story of Eleanor, one of my patients. Eleanor is 76. When she first came to my office, she was exhausted. Not from physical exertion, but from battling her blood pressure. Every visit a new pill, first a diuretic, then a beta blocker, next a calcium channel blocker. Her medicine cabinet looked like a pharmacy shelf. Yet despite it all, her readings remained stubbornly high. When I asked her about her daily life, the real picture emerged. She wasn't sleeping, waking up 4-5 times a night. Not for dramatic reasons, but just the aches in her knees, the constant urge to go to the bathroom, the racing thoughts she couldn't turn off. Her diet seemed fine at first glance, but a closer look revealed she was consuming far too much sodium from processed, low-fat foods. Even her so-called healthy soups were packed with salt. She was also chronically low in magnesium, a mineral essential for relaxing blood vessels, but no one had ever tested for it. Her kidneys, overworked and aging, weren't helping matters either. Most importantly, Eleanor was living in a constant state of tension, caring for her sick husband, worrying about medical bills, feeling isolated. Her body was in a permanent fight-or-flight mode. We didn't add another pill. Instead, we started with the basics. A magnesium supplement, gentle stretching before bed to ease her joint pain, a simple breathing exercise to calm her racing mind, switching from canned soups to fresh, low-sodium alternatives, monitoring her sodium and potassium intake more mindfully. It wasn't magic, but within 3 months, her systolic pressure dropped by 12 points, her diastolic by 7. For the first time in years, her blood pressure was moving in the right direction, not because we forced it down with chemicals, but because we respected what her body needed. This is what I wish every senior knew. Your high blood pressure is not inevitable. It's a message, a reflection of how your vessels, your kidneys, your hormones, your stress, and your lifestyle are interacting. Ignoring that complexity and focusing only on the numbers is like trying to fix a leak by tightening a valve without ever checking if the pipe is cracked. If you're over 70 and your blood pressure remains stubborn despite medication, it's time to look deeper. The answers are there. You just need to know where to look. Part 2, the hidden dangers of overmedication. When it comes to high blood pressure, most seniors are given a simple solution: take more pills. The numbers are high, add a diuretic. Still not good enough. Here's a beta blocker. Throw in a calcium channel blocker for good measure. But what many doctors fail to consider is this: your body at 70 or 80 doesn't respond the same way it did at 40. Overmedication is a hidden epidemic among older adults. The intentions are good, lowering the risk of heart attack, strokes, kidney damage, but the consequences can be devastating. Too much medication or the wrong combination can cause dizziness, severe fatigue, even life-threatening falls. One of the most overlooked dangers is orthostatic hypotension, a sudden drop in blood pressure when standing up. It happens when medications blunt your body's natural ability to regulate blood flow. For a younger person, the body quickly adjusts. But for seniors, the adjustment is slower, weaker. The result, a dizzy spell that can send you straight to the floor. Let me tell you about Linda, a patient who taught me this lesson the hard way. Linda is 78, sharp, witty, independent. She loves tending to her small garden and spoiling her grandchildren. But 6 months ago, things took a frightening turn. She was on 3 different blood pressure medications. Her readings looked perfect on paper. Her doctor was pleased, but Linda wasn't. She started feeling lightheaded every time she stood up. At first, she brushed it off. "Maybe I got up too fast," she said. But then one morning, as she was reaching for a cup of coffee, the room spun. Her knees buckled. She barely caught herself on the counter before hitting the ground. By the time she came to see me, she was terrified to move around her own home. We checked her sitting and standing blood pressures. The difference was staggering. Sitting, she was at 122/70. But after standing for just 2 minutes, her pressure dropped to 92/58. That's not a mild fluctuation. That's a dangerous plunge, enough to cause fainting falls, even broken bones. What had happened? Her medications were doing their job too well. They were lowering her blood pressure indiscriminately without regard for her posture, her hydration, or her body's natural rhythms. Her treatment was designed for a textbook case, not for Linda, a living, breathing person with unique needs. This is why personalized treatment is not a luxury for seniors. It's a necessity. Studies show that adults over 70 are far more sensitive to blood pressure medications. A 2020 study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that aggressive blood pressure lowering in older adults increased the risk of falls and fractures by up to 30%. The goal shouldn't be to chase a perfect number. It should be to find the balance between safety and effectiveness. For Linda, we didn't just adjust the dosage. We reevaluated everything. We tapered down one of her medications, added simple lifestyle tweaks, hydration, slow position changes, even compression stockings to support circulation. Within weeks, her dizzy spells faded. She regained her confidence to move to garden to live. Overmedication is not just about pills. It's about a mindset. Treating the number, not the person. Ignoring the fact that a 78-year-old body reacts differently, that kidneys filter slower, that baroreceptors, the sensors that regulate blood pressure, lose sensitivity with age. For seniors, more medication is not always better. Sometimes it's harmful. What Linda experienced is not rare. Thousands of older adults are living in fear of their own medications, afraid to stand, afraid to walk. All because no one paused to ask, how is this affecting you today in real life? As a doctor, my job is not just to prescribe, it's to listen, to observe, to understand that in geriatrics, the line between treatment and harm is thin, and crossing that line has consequences far beyond the clinic. If you or a loved one are managing high blood pressure after 70, remember this: your treatment should fit you, not the other way around. Personalized care is not complicated. It starts with simple questions, careful adjustments, and a respect for how your unique body responds. Part 3, natural strategies doctors often overlook. For many seniors, managing high blood pressure feels like a lifetime sentence of medications. Yet there are powerful natural strategies that often get ignored, not because they don't work, but because they require a different kind of prescription time attention and a shift in mindset. Let's start with food. The DASH diet is widely recommended but rarely personalized for older adults. After 70, your body processes sodium differently. Even small amounts can have a larger impact. It's not just about tossing the salt shaker. Hidden sodium lurks in canned soups, deli meats, even so-called healthy snacks. More importantly, increasing potassium from natural foods becomes essential. Avocados, spinach, sweet potatoes, salmon. These are not trendy superfoods. They are your body's allies in balancing blood pressure. Potassium helps your blood vessels relax, counteracting the stiffening effects of age. Studies show that boosting potassium intake can lower systolic blood pressure by 405 mmHg without a single pill. Then there's breathing. Most people think of blood pressure as a mechanical issue: too much fluid, too much resistance. But your nervous system plays a huge role. Slow, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic system, signaling your body to relax. Research published in Hypertension Research found that just 10 minutes of slow breathing daily can reduce blood pressure by 5 to 10 mmHg. No equipment, no side effects. It's just you, your breath, and a little patience. But how often do doctors prescribe breathing exercises with the same urgency as medications? Another overlooked factor is sleep. After 70, sleep is often fragmented, light, and unsatisfying. Yet poor sleep doesn't just leave you tired, it keeps your blood pressure elevated through the night and into the morning. This phenomenon, called non-dipping hypertension, increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Prioritizing sleep hygiene, consistent bedtimes, dark rooms, limiting caffeine can be as impactful as medication adjustments. It's not glamorous, but it works. Now let's talk about the forgotten nutrients: magnesium and coenzyme Q10, CoQ10. Both are critical in supporting healthy blood pressure, yet they're rarely discussed in routine care. Magnesium helps regulate vascular tone, preventing the spasms and constriction that elevate pressure. However, data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, NHANES, shows that over 60% of Americans over 60 are magnesium deficient. Supplementing with 300-400 mg of magnesium daily has been shown to reduce blood pressure by 2 or 4 mmHg. CoQ10, on the other hand, is a powerful antioxidant that supports heart function and energy production. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of Human Hypertension found that CoQ10 supplementation can lower systolic blood pressure by up to 17 mmHg in hypertensive patients. Yet because it's not a prescription drug, it often gets overlooked. To bring this closer to home, let me share the story of Harold, 81 years old. He came to me frustrated. He was doing everything right, taking his pills, following his doctor's orders. Yet his blood pressure remained stubbornly high, and the side effects were piling up: muscle cramps, fatigue, dizziness. When I asked about his diet, Harold admitted he relied heavily on frozen dinners. Easy, convenient, but loaded with hidden salt. He also confessed he hadn't had a good night's sleep in months, waking up multiple times for no apparent reason. We didn't add more medication. Instead, we made small, targeted changes. Harold switched to fresh, low-sodium meals with potassium-rich vegetables. He began a simple breathing practice each morning: inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6. We introduced a nightly routine to improve his sleep: no screens before bed, a warm shower, and a magnesium supplement. Finally, we added CoQ10 to support his heart. 3 months later, Harold's blood pressure had dropped from 148/88 to 128/76. More importantly, he felt stronger, more energetic, and less dependent on his medications. These are not miraculous cures. They are science-backed, practical strategies that respect the reality of aging bodies. Managing high blood pressure after 70 isn't about chasing numbers at all costs. It's about supporting your body's natural systems. It's about giving your heart, your vessels, your nervous system the tools they need to do their job gently, effectively, and sustainably. If you or someone you love is tired of the one-size-fits-all approach, remember real change often starts with the simplest things: food, breath, sleep, the right nutrients. Part 4, the power of self-monitoring. One of the biggest mistakes people make after 70 is giving away control of their own health. They rely on the blood pressure reading at the doctor's office and assume that single number tells the whole story. But your body doesn't live by snapshots. It lives by patterns. And patterns are only visible when you take the time to look. Self-monitoring your blood pressure at home is not just a helpful habit. For seniors, it can be life-changing. It gives you real-time feedback on how your body responds to your daily choices, what you eat, how you sleep, how stressed you feel. But to get meaningful results, you need to do it right. First, measure your blood pressure at the same times every day. Ideally once in the morning before coffee, before breakfast, before any medications. This gives you a baseline, a glimpse into how your body is coping overnight. Then again in the evening, after you've been active, after the stress of the day has taken its toll. Sit quietly for 5 minutes before measuring. Feet flat on the ground, back supported, arm resting at heart level. Don't cross your legs, don't talk, don't scroll on your phone. Treat it like a conversation with your heart. Record both readings, morning and evening. What you'll often notice is a difference. Maybe subtle, maybe dramatic. For many seniors, blood pressure in the morning is significantly higher. This is called morning surge, and it matters. Studies published in Hypertension Journal reveal that exaggerated morning surges are strong predictors of stroke and heart attack risk. It happens because your body releases a rush of stress hormones upon waking, tightening blood vessels, raising your heart rate. Conversely, a big drop in the evening could indicate overmedication or dehydration. Both are red flags. By tracking these variations, you're not just collecting numbers. You're learning how your body reacts to life. Did a salty dinner cause a spike? Did a poor night's sleep push your morning numbers higher? Did an afternoon walk help bring them down? This awareness empowers you to make adjustments before small problems become big ones. Let me share a story. Frank, a 75-year-old retired teacher, thought his blood pressure was fine. His doctor visits always showed decent numbers. But Frank started noticing something odd. He'd wake up groggy with a dull headache. By evening, he'd feel lightheaded, especially after sitting for long periods. I asked him to start checking his blood pressure twice a day. The pattern was eye-opening. His morning readings were consistently above 150 systolic, but by evening they dropped below 110. That's not balance, that's a roller coaster. It turned out his medications were timed poorly. His morning dose was too high for his needs, sending him into hypotension by evening. Adjusting his medication schedule and adding simple lifestyle tweaks like staying hydrated and pacing his activity smoothed out his numbers. More importantly, Frank felt human again. No more headaches, no more dizziness. All because he took ownership of his monitoring. Technology makes this easier than ever. Home blood pressure monitors are affordable, accurate, and simple to use. Many sync with smartphones, creating easy-to-read charts over time. For those less tech-savvy, even a basic notebook works wonders. But the real tool is your attention. Observing how your body responds is the foundation of personalized care. Self-monitoring does more than keep your doctor informed. It gives you the power to notice trends, understand triggers, and respond intelligently. It turns managing high blood pressure from a passive experience into an active partnership with your own body. For seniors, that level of awareness can mean the difference between preventing a crisis and reacting to one too late. Taking care of your blood pressure after 70 isn't about chasing perfect numbers. It's about listening to what your body is quietly telling you. Every breath, every heartbeat, every small change, it's all part of a bigger story. A story where you're not just a patient, but an active participant in your own well-being. You hold more power than you realize. Simple mindful steps, choosing the right foods, breathing deeply, sleeping better, tracking your numbers, these are not minor habits. They are the foundation of a stronger heart, a clearer mind, and a more independent life. Remember, your health is not a burden. It's your greatest asset, and it's never too late to take it back into your hands. If this video opened your eyes, if it gave you even one small action to try, I invite you to stay with us. Subscribe to Doctor for Seniors. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's walk this journey together with knowledge, with kindness, and with purpose. Your health is your greatest wealth.